Hello, everyone. This is interview number 4 of our series that's highlighting the power in belonging. And this fourth week, we are discussing the relationship between a sense of belonging and authenticity. And we have here the lovely Miss LaToya Seawood. LaToya founded her own consulting company, Level Up Management. It's focused on economic wellness, helping people and organizations meet their economic and developmental goals. And she's also available as a guest speaker on this subject matter. She's also professor in the business division at Warner Pacific and oversees all of the internships as well there. And one final thing, founder of Love Inc. East Multnomah County. So LaToya Seawood has done quite a bit in our community, has stayed pretty involved and busy. And so I'm super excited to have her here and ask her a few questions. All right, question number 1 for you. How has your sense of belonging contributed to the development of your authenticity?
I would really say that it's really starting with knowing that I matter to my community as a whole, knowing that I matter to my family, to God, and to myself, and trusting that who I am is safe in those situations. And so, not every situation is safe. And so it's a matter of knowing those different groups and knowing who you're safe with and being able to grow in that trust that comes with that. And as that grows, you realize how you show up matters. And I often reflect, am I being the change that I want to see? Right? We know that phrase over and over again, because if I'm not, then I'm not fostering that sense of trust. I'm not helping to build that community. And in that community, I can only show up as me, right? There's only one me. And in that trust, knowing that I myself was uniquely designed to add goodness to the community that I'm in. There's nobody else who can add what I can add. And because of that, I have a responsibility, I have a part to play, and I can be my full self. But that is authenticity. That's who we are. We all know and run in the back of our minds, right? Our mistakes, our flaws, the reasons why we can't, what someone else might be thinking, all of that negative self-talk. And, I've had to choose to focus on the positive talk, focus on what I believe is the truth, that, I am here for a purpose. I was created for a purpose, and I'm responsible to that purpose. And that is only how I've been able to grow in my authenticity.
I love that. I love that I can show up as me. And my first thought when you said that was how much less stressful, a state of calm that we can experience when we can show up as me versus when we don't feel like we can show up as me. We're not in a space of trust, a space that feels safe. Our anxiety levels, right? Our stress levels are elevated, and that's not healthy for our bodies, right? For our well-being. And so I love that phrase. I
Yeah.
can show up as me. Question number 2, how has authenticity played a role in your accomplishments thus far? Clearly from the introduction, you've accomplished a lot, and how has authenticity played a role in that?
When I first started out, so, 25 years ago or so, I believed that I was going to do it all on my own. And life taught me, the way life does, that you actually accomplish nothing on your own. And so I would say, in terms of authenticity, it's knowing that I need help, and it's knowing that no one accomplishes anything on their own. And to expect someone to accomplish something on their own is really unrealistic. We need each other. So even though we do have a unique part that only we were designed for, that was designed to operate in community. And so if you're not in the community and experiencing give and take that comes with the community, then you can't actually operate in the way that you were fully designed. You have to learn, to be the best version of yourself you can be. I can only I can't compare myself with anyone else. I have to be the best version of me that I can be, knowing that it's purposeful, and it was, I believe it was pre-designed.
I love that. Yes, it's that overlaying, right, of authenticity and belonging, because it's all intertwined. We're all connected. We all need each other,
Yeah.
and yet within we're all individuals who play a role. That so beautiful. I love that. And last question: what advice can you give to others for growing a community where there's a strong sense of belonging?
This question, I really like this question because it brings up the fact, and I mentioned it a little bit previously, but not all communities are safe. And it's unfortunately, you're not able to be your authentic self and build trust in all communities. And so I guess the first piece of advice, the first thing that I've tried to do is to choose wisely the safe community that I'm going to invest in. And, a part of that aspect of trust, as I mentioned before, I'm learning a lot about it. Actually, I just started reading a book called Trust by Dr. Henry Cloud, who's one of my favorite authors. And he talks about, do you trust that these people have your best interests in mind? Do you trust that they're going to seek your best at all times? And so not everyone fits that definition, right? So
Mhm.
choosing wisely, I believe, is the first thing. And then knowing that when it comes to authenticity, you have to start first. It starts with your own willingness and risk to be authentic. So
Mhm.
just being willing to show your flaws. And if you're okay with them, then I've learned others are okay with them too, because the reality is we all have it. And
Mhm.
then the last thing I would say is that none of this is easy, right? And so there are bumps along the way. And it's difficult, but the result is so worthwhile. It's such a worthy journey to take. And it's one that I think I'm going to be on for the rest of my life. I'm still learning and all of these things. And
Yeah.
I know that that's the only way I have done anything is by leaning into that.
Mhm. Yes, such amazing advice. What came to mind for me as well is those times, like you said, when you are authentic, you're risking that authenticity being rejected to an extent. And I've experienced that. And I think we all have experienced that. And then we have to make the choice. Do we continue to fearfully step into that authenticity in another situation and come to find out that you won't be rejected in all situations? Or do we build a wall, right, that covers that authenticity because that hurt too much the first time it happened? And I think it takes
Absolutely.
courage, but to try again, right? Try again, because you will find that community of people who do accept your authenticity. And sometimes it's a unfortunate trial and error and first experience of rejection. But I love that advice.
It is. And when you find it, you're going to find that you've got some walls you got to start tearing down now, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be able to lean fully into it and experience all the goodness that there is to experience.
Mhm.
And, it's like with each rejection, we put another brick on our walls. And so it's a
Mhm.
matter of taking that down, and it's a matter of not responding the same way, right? When someone rejects my authenticity, I can choose to think it's because I'm bad and there's something wrong with me.
Mhm.
Or I can choose to think they're having a bad day, or maybe they've got issues and it's got nothing to do with me, right? And so that's another practice that I am definitely growing in, because the rejection happens all the time, every day. Especially working with the community, working with young people, working with children. I mean, we experience all forms of rejection all day long. And so, what do you do with that brick, right?
Yes, yes, I love that. Speaking truth to yourself in that moment or letting the
Yeah.
lies take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important to hold on to that truth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, LaToya. I
Well,
truly
thank you.
appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for those incredible responses to those questions.
Thank you for the honor and the privilege to be able to be a part of what you're building, Sarah. You're doing amazing, amazing work with the kids. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your support so much.